Welcome to the Rauta Trio. Once again, we go 3 different releases, 3 different bands from 3 different parts of the world in order I will rank worst to best, according to my own opinion, so feel free to disagree. But first, we'll introduce the gamers of the evening with alphabetical order. One from Norway, Jotunspor, and some people will already recognize this name because it's a reissue from Norway. Kind of all-star lineup duo. Then we have MNHG from Germany, if my memory serves me right, doing black and roll. And then we have, finally, one-man black metal band from France, Sotherion. Now let's do it in worst to best order according to my own opinion, and we'll head to Germany with second album by MNHG. Now previously this band was more known as just a black and roll band. I say just because, to be honest, frankly speaking, there's so many bands doing black and roll which don't really do it the proper rock and roll way. Think about Motorhead and the like, not really doing it black metal way. Now a lot of people will point out there are plenty of acts which do it decently, bands like Vermine or later era Satyricon. Fortunately for people out there who are looking for some potential black and roll, MNHG is now improving. Better than the first album, this one is clearly going to better direction, and in my opinion topping, for instance, whatever latest Satyricon albums have been all about. Now this is done partially by adding pure blood black metal elements while still maintaining the so-called black and roll thing to it. Some people might say it's kind of because, you know, there's certain kind of a grooviness. So it's kind of a grooviness, groove metal, black metal roll, melodic black metal, and etc. Now this might sound awfully, confusing when you start really adding up all these hybrid genres or whatever. Let's just stick to the basic. This is the easy to approach level black metal in combination with black and roll, and then you get the hang of it. Good production, quite solid vocals and all that stuff. But one thing I would always say, if you're gonna do some kind of a rock and roll, metallic or otherwise, try to aim for catchiness, because there's a reason why songs like Ace of Spades and many others coming from the metallic rock and roll or rock and roll blending with metal are memorable. They are catchy as hell. So even if you don't like catchy black metal, then again, who doesn't like, Under a Funeral Moon or Transylvanian Hunger or some Burzum tracks or whatever, well, think again. Anyway, this is potential stuff. If you like black and roll, give it a go. Then we go to Norway with this duo all-star lineup. This acted for a few years, around 2005 to 2012, something like that. Curious enough, this reissue is made by Cold Spring, which is then again more a label related to industrial, ambient, power electronics and all that stuff. Now when I say all-star lineup, this peculiar looking digiback, very dark by the way, is made by Vitrafen and King of Hell, both ex-Gorgoroth members and both who also ventured to other projects later on. For example, King of Hell went to Godseed with Mr. Gal, also ex-Gorgoroth, whereas Vitrafen pretty much went for Vartruna and other projects later on. So Jotunspor is one of those projects that kind of got between Gorgoroth debut, not debut, but the official problem they had in court of law trying to reclaim the name Gorgoroth and all. So between Gorgoroth, between Godseed, between Galswood and before Vartruna, well, this was what was going on. Jotunspor actually has quite a bit of potential. But it's weird that they actually have drum machine, at least part of the songs, because then again there's a real drummer in the band. I don't know why they decided to do that. But a lot of this stuff is like almost like a demo recording of what could be really a good album. In my opinion, this is not there yet, but it has quite a bit of cool material from the Norwegian black metal scene, the second wave and all, but a little bit more experimentation, if you will, and with the drum machine. So who knows where it could have gone, given more time, given more love and all that stuff. In my opinion, it's pretty much an interesting forgotten jewel in a way. Not the greatest from Norway, obviously, but still quite likable of an album. Just a little bit weird with the experimentations and all. And then we have finally the best of the pile, Sotherion, with the debut album called Vermine. I don't know how to pronounce the purple French here. World Terror Committee is the label here. And This is the one-man band by the Mr. Sotherion. That is, he has plenty of other bands. He had been played in a lot of other bands and still does. Both death metal and black metal. I guess black metal being the number one in his game. Now he has this solo project and it's surprisingly good, especially given that this is the first album by the very artist doing solo. The style is actually a curious combination of raw and of black metal, meaning the production is quite raw, and he has his own studio, so he probably knows very, very well what he's doing. This is not just like, I didn't have the equipment, I just went for something. Curious enough, there's a lot of black metal, death metal reminders added to the black metal thing here, and sometimes, for example, the vocals are almost like a borderline thing between black metal and death metal. But then again, if you look at his past, thinking of bands like Aborted, and there are more, you will find that it's not that uncommon, because, for example, Aborted being a death grind band, and then this guy has a lot of black metal projects, more or less active and all that stuff, it makes actual sense that you go for a little bit different than the bands you're already involved with. So while I would say this is raw end of black metal, with a kind of a timeless, kind of a 1990s vibe to it, but there are these death metal reminders, cues, whatever you call it, seasoning, and I think it makes a lot of sense. Overall, it's quite good of an album. I wouldn't say it's grand good, because in my opinion it would be needing a little bit more punch, maybe more memorable parts and all that stuff. But with the sheer aggressiveness, with the rawness, with the outright hateful output, I would say yes, this is a good album to check it out. Released in 2024, as all of them here in the pile. Check out the bands you like. Links are included in the description box, so check them out and I hope you like them. But if you have only time for one, go with the Sotherion. Now, off you go, enjoy the metal, and stay tuned for more metal reviews coming away. Bye-bye.